Around her were violent, intense, purple, explosive aura. "Go catch him and bring him to me," Athena commanded his subordinates. Without any hesitation, her 4 subordinates responded in unison, saying, "Yes, ma'am." Kneeling, bowing their heads, blue aura enveloped around them, their eyes turning blue, their facial expressions getting serious. After responding to Athena, they turned into blue light and dispersed in different directions, vanishingly before her, leaving her standing there, her gaze focused into the woods. Athena turned her head around, looking at Lee Jun-gyong. Thinking, we finally got hold of this person, what a pity. But who is he? I can't feel any magic power from him, she said while using her power, which was able to look at one's magic abilities. Lee Jun-gyong, still bowing and facing the floor with fear and horror on his face, thought, the autobiography of the Demon King that I'm holding on contains the dirty lines of the 12 heroes want to hide. I hope she doesn't realize that and just goes away. Athena turning away, walking towards the clearing, smoke saying, he's just a lowly slave. Leaving Lee Jun-gyong still bowing down, facing the ground. Is she gone? Trembling slowly, Lee Jun-gyong trying to raise his head, his eyes showing signs of no hope and lifelessness. Slowly raising his head, thinking, I'm saved. About to release his breath in relaxation. Straightening up his body, his soul was about to leave his body, ready to go and meet his long-living ancestors on the afterlife, after he saw Athena standing before him, her body emitting strong and distorous purple aura around her. One of her eyes gazed on him, released and glow powerful magic aura. Lee Jun-gyong body was alert, and I don't know about you, my viewers, but by calculation as a narrator, if I was in that position, I would have released the most unimaginable, unheard, and most toxic fart using my life force as a defense reflex. If that doesn't work, I could have already met my ancestors, knowing at least I gave her a serious fight before my death. I want to know in the comments what you would have done. I almost lost it, thought Athena. Looking down at Lee Jun-gyong, I feel magic power coming from you, although there are only a few traces of it, said Athena. Athena still looking at Lee Jun-gyong and said, seeing as how you froze up, I guess you have something that you can't let me get my hands on, huh? Then she used dominating magic on her word, saying, take out what you have and tell me what it is. Without control over his body and trembling in fear, his hand reached deep in his coat pocket. Lee Jun-gyong, in panic, thought, my body is moving on, its own. Are these God's words? Stop moving, Lee Jun-gyong yelled inwardly. Lee Jun-gyong began to pull out the handbook, which was a memento from his parents to him, which he received from Sung-gu-hyung. The book contained all the absurdities done by the 12 uniques whom called themselves the gods of Eden. Thinking if she gets a hold of this book, I'm dead. Yes, Lee Jun-gyong is right if she gets the book and realize what it is. Lee Jun-gyong with the book in both of his hand, she trembled in fear looking at Athena, telling her, it's a book. Think on his mind, damn it, my body isn't listening to me. Lee Jun-gyong remembered that the book contained the story of the Demon King, who was humanity's real hero, whom Edeb doesn't want the world to know of the Demon King's story. Her hands reaching for the book in which Lee Jun-gyong presented before her. Lee Jun-gyong's fear kept increasing when Athena's hand was reaching for the book. Thinking everyone who's related to me will die. If things go wrong, the whole neighborhood might be obliterated. That's how Eden works. Eden's strength. They get rid of everything that rubs them in the wrong way or stands in their way. Lee Jun-gyong trying to control his body from handing over the book. I can't hand this over to her, please. Fire magic ignited on the book, which flew towards Athena. Athena was struck in shock when she saw that this was the book that they feared to get into the wrong hand and can cause power struggle into Eden. Athena let out a maniacal laughter, saying, I've found it. This is the autobiography of the Demon King. I don't know how a mere slave was able to get his hands on this, but I'll taking this. The way she was raising her hand, I'm not foolish, but that's not how you retrieve your hand way back just to take something. Because that's how my mom used to retrieve her hand and buffed herself with chankala on her hand, ready to give me 99 critical damage, which has 0 resistance and 100% accuracy, which when it landed, I usually screamed like a butchered pig. In a distance, someone shouted Athena's name, which made Athena to turn around in shock because of the familiar sound which called out her name. Next instant, like a professional handbag, robber Sung-gu Hyung hit Athena on her back as if he was about to rob her of her handbag. Lee Jun-gaeyong was surprised seeing Athena's presence disappearing before her eyes like a minimized tab that had been close, and Sung-gu Hyung appeared before him. Athena flew away several meters, leaving huge cloud of dust on her trail. Goddamn, look at our protagonist's mentor. Sung-gu Hyung showing Lee Jun-gaeyong the MC gender equality at its most potential formidable. Sung-gu Hyung reached out for the book he had gave to Lee Jun-gaeyong with an orange-yellowish aura around his hand. Hyung said Lee Jun-gaeyong tear falling down his cheeks in relief and happiness seeing Sung-gu Hyung is still alive after being attacked by Athena, whom was publicly known as the strongest unique in Eden. You're a man, don't cry. Even so, you did well. You did a great job holding on, said Sung-gu Hyung smiling at Lee Jun-gaeyong, whom was unscathed with his brownish yes-brown aura around him, while holding the autobiography of the Demon King, wiping his tears. Lee Jun-gaeyong said, Sung-gu Hyung, who exactly are you? How did you go up agonist one of the 12 gods Athena? I'm sorry I don't have time to explain things to you. I didn't expect them to find the Demon King's autobiography this soon. You've always said that you want to change the world, said Sung-gu Hyung, handing over the book to Lee Jun-gaeyong. Then he added, I will bet on someone like you. Lee Jun-gaeyong said, with a sad face, sweat dripping down, looking at Sung-gu Hyung. Receiving the book from Sung-gu Hyung materializing a huge crystal-like sword, and told Lee Jun-gaeyong that hunters are being appointed as gods, and they are ruling over other humans. Someone who's powerless like you will live as a livestock that's waiting to be killed by others. Sung-gu Hyung took a fighting stance facing at Lee Jun-gaeyong, continued saying, If you have the power to change the world, a power that can rival the 12 gods, then, he asked Lee Jun-gaeyong a deep question saying, would you still feel the same about wanting to change the world? Lee Jun-gaeyong stood there silent. All his emotions flowed into him in an instant, and began to recall the 12 unique heroes had done agonist humanity they supposed to protect, and they didn't fought and annihilate the demons completely, and didn't work as a team. Each, the 12 unique, whom were presented as God of Eden, were driven by guilt, pride, and desire to oppress and dominate. At the cloud of dust where Athena was bodied by Sung-gu Hyung, pink lights glowed closing into where both Sung-gu Hyung and Lee Jun-gaeyong. In an instant the cloud of dust were dispersed in an instant. Where Athena in her battle form rushed in purple light, on her left hand was a shield, and on her right hand was her sword, and she shouted, Heimdall! Whom is Sung-gu Hyung? Heimdall shouted to Lee Jun-gaeyong, Athena's coming, we don't have time. Make your decision. I can't fend off Athena by myself. Warning Sung-gu Hyung that he didn't have much time. Yes, if I could possess that kind of power, I would like to change the whole world, said Lee Jun-gaeyong with confidence on his eyes and voice. Heimdall smiled teardrop on his cheek and answered, Good. He charged the sword towards Lee Jun-gaeyong, in which the sword glowed in a sunshine color and brightness. Heimdall stabbed the sword into Lee Jun-gaeyong, in which blood didn't flow out from Lee Jun-gaeyong, and it was as if Heimdall was inserting his power towards Lee Jun-gaeyong, and Lee Jun-gaeyong was floating mid-air. Lee Jun-gaeyong. Eyes opened and glowed brown color, looking emotionally at Heimdall. Heimdall, with proud face, looking at Lee Jun-gaeyong, he said, If I meet you there, be nice to me. A huge brown light dispersed out of Li Jungaiyong in a ferocious manner. His body raised in the air, still his sword on his chest. Li Jungaiyong thought, Sunggu Hyung, whom is Heimdall, by the way. What are you talking about? He called out, Hey, Dal, while his body began to vaporize into rays of light. His face was focused at Sunggu Hyung. He kept raising in the air, and his body released a loud explosion of rays of light, which dispersed much energy. Executing the contract, as per the contract, the fall of heaven, is supporting you. We see a glow of light appearing inside a huge cave. Li Jungaiyong began to materializing into the cave, shocked by looking at his appearance and his clothes and his surrounding. And damn, our boy looking ripped. Damn, man doesn't have to hit the gym that much. You hit the gym, the most terrifying words that can come from your trainer is today, is leg day this, the moment your soul will leave your body. If you know, we know. What was that? I'm sure I was stabbed, but I don't see any wounds. Li Jungaiyong reached onto his chest for a stab wound, shocked to see he had none. My body feels different from before, he said, clenching his fist tightly, veins appearing okay. Dwayne Johnson with hair. The strength that I feel from my body, and talked about me being supported. Did I become a hunter? Thought Li Jungaiyong, walking in, deep thought. Looking around his surroundings, Li Jungaiyong started to cautious about his surroundings, saying to himself, Where exactly am I? The cave was filled with intense magic energy around it. The magic power that I feel coming from within my body. Could I be inside the gate? Sounds of footsteps were heard inside the gate. Footsteps, thought Li Jungaiyong. Sensing the footstep sounds getting closer and closer, making Li Jungaiyong to turn his head around towards the direction of the footsteps. His traumatized instinct kicked in and thought, okay, plan A, let's hide first. Shock and surprised hit Li Jungaiyong when he saw a goblin holding a short sword with red eyes, which it was alert looking around as if it had sense of an intruder.